So just a minute because taking it live on Facebook.
Okay.
Video model. So we can start.
So good afternoon everyone. आज का जो हमारा वेबिनार है ऑन लैंडस्केप एंड होम गार्डनिंग, इसकी जो नींव रखी गई है, इट वाज बाय डॉक्टर वाईपी सिंह, प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ इंडियन नर्सरी मैन एसोसिएशन. सो इट इज अंडर बैनर वो टाइटल ऑफ सीड्स फॉर फ्यूचर वेबिनार सीरीज में मैं आप सभी का स्वागत करता हूँ. और आज के जो हमारे स्पीकर्स है, हरप्रीत वालीवाला मैडम फ्रॉम अर्दी क्रिएशंस, विकास गोयल साहब एमडी मोती गार्डन, डॉक्टर कारियाना एमडी हितकारी नर्सरी बेंगलुरु. आप सभी स्पीकर्स का मैं तहे दिल से इंडियन नर्सरी मैन एसोसिएशन की ओर से स्वागत करता हूँ. उसी के साथ साथ आज के जो हमारे पास पार्टिसिपेंट जुड़े हुए हैं, उनका भी तहे दिल से स्वागत करता हूँ. सबसे बड़ा शुक्रिया आज मैं मोती गार्डन का करूंगा, जो आज के हमारे वेबिनार के स्पॉन्सर है. थैंक्स टू मोती गार्डन फॉर स्पॉन्सरिंग दिस वेबिनार. एंड आई रिक्वेस्ट मंजीत सिंह विशाल टू प्रेजेंट activities of Indian Nursery Association. So over to you, Manjit.
Thank you, Sachin sir. On behalf of Indian Nurseryman Association, I welcome all the participants on board and the speakers today. Special thanks to our sponsor, Moti Garden. Sachin sir, my screen is visible to you?
Yeah, it's visible now.
Okay. Myself Manjeet, and on behalf of Indian Nurseryman Association, I welcome all the participants on board. As we all know that Indian Nurseryman Association was founded in the year 1987. So since then we are calling a green journey of Indian Nurseryman Association. Before talking about the details about Indian Nurseryman Association, I'd like to talk about our founding president, Sri Arjun Das Agarwal sir, because of whom the foundation of Indian Nurseryman Association was possible. So Arjun Das Agarwal founded Indian Nurseryman Association from a very small place called Kathal, which is in Haryana. And from there, the journey of Indian Nurseryman Association started. This is the leadership board of Indian Nurseryman Association, founded by late Sri Arjun Das Agarwal in the year 1987. And now we have the 9th president of Indian Nurseryman Association, Sri YP Singh ji, who took the charge as the president on 8th of September 2019. YP sir is from Delhi, and he owns the North India's largest nursery, Greenways Nursery in Delhi. And he's very much instrumental in taking Indian Nurseryman Association to altogether to a different dynamic, to a different height. We'll be discussing about the projects in the later slides. This is the current GC board. We can see the representation of all the states in it. We have representation from Maharashtra, Chhattisgarh, Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, and so on, West Bengal, and so on. So we have the representation from almost all the states of India. Indian Nurseryman Association is backed by so many influential people, so many good people on board. Now we have the Mehndi Sahab, Sardar VM Singh, and so on. We have different kind of people on board. The sapling which was planted in the year 1987 is now taking a good shape by 2019. We have more than 3,700 on board member as the lifetime member, but we call ourselves as the extended network of more than 2 lakh people, whether if we count the the representation from the horticulture industry, which includes the landscape, forest industry, plant breeders, greenhouse, nursery growers, retailer, distributor, interior and external landscapers, and different kind of educators, researchers, manufacturers on board. Indian Nurseryman Association basically work on 5 major principles. First is being the pan-India body of all the nurserymen across India. The first and the foremost responsibility of Indian Nurserymen Association is to be the influential advocates. How we do the advocacy, we can discuss in the later slides. We are the authoritative educators. We are also bringing all the stakeholders of all the of this industry at one place, playing the role of bringing the collaborative approach about the industry in this particular dimension. And we are the fervent supporter of all the plant business, because that's the sole objective that should be derived out of the whole activities. And at the end, whatever we are doing, we are basically promoting healthy and green communities. This is the administrative structure. We have the national representation by our general council of 11 periphery also, because that will give lot many chance to all the research scholars as well as the eminent persons from different places to be on board with Indian Nurserymen Association. INA basically work on 6 thematic areas. First, the responsibility that we do have is the PR and the advocacy. The other is the networking and partnership, capacity building and study tour, publication and papers, events and exhibitions, and then the R&D. If we talk about the PR and advocacy, we have witnessed that what we had done in the COVID-19 pandemic time, when Indian Nurserymen Association under the leadership of Sri YP Singh ji took this initiative, spoke with the Ministry of Home Affairs, Ministry of Agriculture, and then it got included the plants as the essential item category during the lockdown. Similarly, we are continuously in touch with National Horticulture Board, whether it is to oppose the proposed Nursery Act or bringing CIH on board, the revival of CIH, or whether it is to constitute the Flower and the Export Council of India. These are all things we are doing at the national level and the state level to bring out the advocacy from Indian Nurserymen Association side. The networking and partnership we talk about, we have the representation now from different countries. We have the membership in Japan, Vietnam, Lebanon, South Africa, Netherlands, Italy, Colombia, Bangladesh, and so on. So now Indian Nurserymen Association is going abroad also. Very soon we are hopeful to have our nodal offices at some of the places at SAARC or the European countries. The membership drive of Indian Nurserymen Association is very much open. If anybody is interested, then they can feel free to write us or call us. The contact details I'll be sharing in the last of the slide. If we talk about the publication and papers, Indian Nurserymen Association every month publishes its monthly magazine called Nursery Today, which is a very international standard magazine. If anybody is not getting the copy of the magazine, feel free to write us or call us. We'll be happy to share the copy of the magazine with you. Indian Nurserymen Association published the National Directory, which is a repository of all the stakeholders from this industry. It was published in the year 2017-18, but now the third edition is into the process. By the end of this year, the third edition will also be there in place. For the capacity building and study tour, we are into so many activities. One where we are interacting today, the webinar series. Apart from this, we are into workshop, seminars, conferences, and the different kind of activity for the capacity building and study tour, whether it is the IPMSN that happened in Germany last year, or it is the Canton Fair, China or Thailand, likewise. So we keep on going to visit these international exhibitions which take place every year. For the R&D, we are into the process of establishing a very niche project called as iLab, which is a virtual idea lab. The details about this iLab will be shared with all the members of Indian Nurserymen Association on 25th of January. For the events and exhibitions, we are into HortiPro India, which is now the India's largest event for the horticulture industry since last 2 years. 2020, we were unable to host the third edition because of the pandemic, but soon the 2021 edition will be announced for all the members as well as the stakeholders of the horticulture in India. We are the event partner for Ministry of Tourism, for Government of Delhi for the garden festival that happens every year in Delhi. Similarly, we are also the partner with similarly so many other garden festival which happens in India. For the fundraising, if we talk about, we raised a sum of rupees 50 lakh rupees for the PM Care Fund for this pandemic 19. And last year, we had raised a sum of rupees 25 lakh rupees for the Care Fund. So we keep on doing all these kind of social aspect also under our banner. These are some of the glimpses that what all things we are doing here. So I'll not take much time here. I'll be just sharing the contact details about Indian Nurserymen Association in the last slide. So to write us, you can write us at office@indiannurserymen.com, or you can call or WhatsApp us at 888-244-988. So these are the contact details of Indian Nurserymen Association, and over to Sachin sir.
Thank you very much, Manjit ji, for sharing your views and activities of the Indian Nursery Association that we are doing under the dynamic leadership of our president, Mr. YP Singh Saab. So now today's our topic is plantscape and home gardening. कोई भी चीज हो उसकी शुरुआत हो घर से होती है, वैसे ही एनवायरनमेंट के साथ, इमोशंस के साथ, प्लांट्स के साथ जन्म से लेके मृत्यु तक जो साथ देते हैं वो प्लांट्स देते हैं, और जिसकी शुरुआत हम होम गार्डनिंग से करते हैं। कोई भी प्लांट लगाना तो प्लांट्सकेप एंड होम गार्डनिंग इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। उसके बारे में आज हमको नॉलेज देने के लिए, इंफॉर्मेशन देने के लिए आज जो हमारे पास एक्सपर्ट जुड़े हुए हैं, आज हरप्रीत सिंह अहलुवालिया मैडम जुड़ी, जिनका सहयोग इंडियन नर्सरी एसोसिएशन को उनका रह रहा है और ऐसे भविष्य में रहता रहेगा। Harpreet Singh madam is a business management graduate. She is a writer. She is a researcher, I will say. She has been felicitated by the Sheila Dikshit among the best women faces in works. Very passionate person, Ahluwalia madam. उनका जो पैशन है, काम के सब क्रिएटिविटी है, हमने बहुत वेबिनार में देखी। आज फिर से हमारा मौका है कि प्लांट्सकेप एंड होम गार्डनिंग के द्वारा उनसे ज्यादा नॉलेज ले, बहुत सारी चीजें सीखे। So now, without taking not much time, I request Ahluwalia madam to give her presentation. Over to you, Ahluwalia madam.
Good afternoon, Sachin sir, and good afternoon to all the members here. And I would thank Indian Nurserymen Association to have given me a chance to share my views on a subject which is so very important in our lives today, which is plantscaping. I'm going to cover only the portion of plantscaping, not exactly home gardening. Sachin sir, मेरे को co-host कर दिया है to share my screen.
Okay.
Please करवा दीजिए because I have to start sharing.
Manjit ji, you have shared your PPT presentation, madam.
No. I'm going to share it. I'm going to share on the screen. So मुझे वो जरा hosting दे दीजिएगा.
अच्छा, allow नहीं किया आपको?
I don't know.
Manjit ji, please allow Ahluwalia madam to share the screen.
Sir, it is there already allowed.
Okay, I'll take it up. Okay.
Just उसमें share option है madam, उसमें share में जाके.
हाँ, मालूम है sir. Okay, thank you sir. I'll do it. Okay, so let's take the topic plantscaping. When one thinks of landscaping, you
madam,
think.
Please share your screen.
I'll do that, sir. Give me 2 minutes. Let me start and I'll share.
No issue, madam.
Okay. So one thinks of landscaping, you think of outdoor, adding flowers, plants, sculpture to enhance the look of outdoor spaces. But plantscaping or indoor landscaping, जिसको हम कहते हैं, या आप उसको ये भी कह सकते हैं कि interior scaping, you call it by any name. It does the same inside what landscaping does outside. So similar to outdoor, inner spaces has planes, angles, horizons that can be altered or enhanced to become a piece of art. So plantscaping is much more than just the act of bringing plants indoors. It actually about strategic placements and selection of plant species within an architectural project to highlight and enhance aspects of design. Now, depending upon the plant structure and form, different spatial phenomenon and effects can be generated. in today's time, especially with COVID, nowadays, people spend 90% of their time indoors. Majority of the people's time is spent in sitting in either their home office और अब कुछ खुल गया है पैंडेमिक में तो वो ऑफिस जाके बैठते हैं, they still are not venturing out too much. Or especially during the pandemic, we felt people who were living in apartments, you know, they were constrained because of the area that they were living in. उनको बहुत ज़्यादा garden का effect नहीं आता था because they didn't have gardens in their homes there. So it limits the time they spend in nature and greenery. People find nature to be serene and visually pleasing, and that's the reason, you know, during pandemic we found people running to the hills. जैसे ही उनको मौका लगा, home office था, so they said, let's get out, let's go to the some hill station or some resort and let's sit there. At least we'll be out with the greenery there, rather than sitting in an apartment within the four walls of 4 rooms, you know. So it's only makes sense to bring that tranquility inside within your home. And what are the benefits? I'm going to share some of the benefits of plantscaping. Using artistic designs and arrangements of living plants, you can use interior landscaping to create a natural, feel-good environment that appeals to the senses while adding aesthetic value to your space. It helps add color and texture to the space in decorative containers. Adding plantscape to your interior enhances your indoor air quality by removing toxins and filtering air. Plants can save energy by increasing humidity and keeping the air temperatures down. खास करके summers में you will feel that, you know, that because the plants are around you, the home temperature, even your garden temperature is much lower than your neighbor's house's temperature. Helps reduce stress and increase productivity and generate happiness in employees. That's the reason in offices we say keep a plant at your desk. So it is very, very important to have plantscaping around you. Even patients, they say, recover faster when exposed to nature. Plants absorb sound and therefore background noise in the building can be reduced. Filters harmful toxins, fewer sick days. It produces day-to-day benefits and are mood boosters and even memory enhancer effects. Abhi ye plantscaping kahan use ho sakti hai? That's another question that we have now. Apart from homes that we know of, hotels, banks, office buildings, restaurants, condos, malls, and apartments. The scope is very large. It is जितना हम नेचर से दूर हो रहे हैं उतना स्कोप प्लांटस्केपिंग के लिए बढ़ रहा है, इंटीरियर स्केपिंग के लिए बढ़ रहा है. Today, India's interior scaping is a niche area of work. The major aspect of interior scaping is in the form of container gardening. आप जितना मिट्टी से दूर होंगे उतना कंटेनर्स में जाके बैठेंगे. तो आप लैंड से दूर हो सकते हैं पर प्लांट्स से दूर नहीं हो सकते because it can be changed into container gardening. If you are a pot plant lover and an appreciator of art and beauty and are not constrained by space and love to experiment and create, then plantscaping can be very creative and fun. इसका स्कोप ऑफ वर्क क्या है? जो प्लांटस्केपिंग करते हैं उनका स्कोप ऑफ वर्क है, यू कैन डिजाइन, यू कैन डू अरेंजमेंट्स, यू कैन प्लेसमेंट ऑफ प्लांट्स, क्रिएटिव लिविंग वॉल्स कर सकते हैं, डेवलपिंग इंडोर गार्डन्स, डूइंग प्लांट सिलेक्शन एंड मेंटेनेंस ऑफ प्लांट्स. A plantscaper needs to have a good design eye and an extensive knowledge of indoor plants, since they are available in variety of colors, shapes, textures, and sizes. An exciting part of indoor gardening is selection and arrangement of house plants so that they complement your design scheme and help to create an interesting decorative interior. They are big house plants and small. यहाँ पर आप देख रहे हैं taller varieties हैं बीच में. They are slender, graceful specimens and kinds that spread out bushily. Some ramble and tumble, and some climb up. They are plants with brilliant colors and others whose primary attraction is foliage. Some have colorful leaves and others have cool and subtle shades of green leaves. Some look polished and others have a velvet texture. There's an enormous range of plants to select from, and they bring vitality and visual excitement to the room. Now, creativity comes from combining container and houseplant together. So that is where the creativity is. Plant to plant की beauty अपनी है ही, पर आपने उसको कैसे combine किया है, how you have presented it, that is the creativity that you have. Since container gives the flexibility to be placed on ground, on pedestal, you can hang them or you can mount them on the wall. And plus the added benefit, of course, is portability. Containers with single specimens can be stunning essence. Containers planted with a mix of house plants are fun to create and offer almost unlimited possibilities of combinations. These two pictures is where the actual creativity is coming out when you do a combination of planting. One easy guideline for choosing the plants to combine in containers is filler, spiller, and filler concept. Now here again, you know, the beauty is in the combination, how you've used it. The pot is just a frame in which it is going. So these are the three concepts that you have: the thriller, spiller, and the filler. So when you have one focal point, that is the thriller, you can, for example, you can have the grasses up there, center mein, or you have a coleus or a geranium with multicolored leaves, or then you combine it with a spiller. The plants just spill over the edge of the pots. Jaise ivies hai, they will spill over the edge, or petunias, they'll spill over the edge. Finally, you add fillers. So wherever the gaps between the thriller and the spiller are left, you fill in the gaps with plants with smaller leaf flowers or colorful leaves. You arrange them in between, like you add syngoniums or wax begonias inside within that, or ferns in that. So that will bring in the creativity, how you've presented it. Now, planters come in a wide variety of material, from stone, ceramic, wood, metal. You can play with textures for visual interest. Plastic and resin have the added bonus of being lightweight and easily portable. And terracotta, of course, universally we know, supports plant growth and is the best medium. Potted evergreens are excellent decorative essence for hard corners. Palms and ferns are ideal for creating a soft flow in angular or awkward spaces. If you have a large or an awkward bare corner, a plant helps to anchor the room. A tall or a raised planter does not take much floor space. आपको फिर भी floor empty feel होगी and your wall will be taken care of. Whether indoor or outdoor, grouping containers is always a surefire way to create style. So after, one creativity comes from combining plant and choosing the right container. The second form of creativity we said comes from the thriller, spiller and filler concept where you combine plants. And the third creativity is here where you group containers together. Now, usually we use a pair or an odd number at varying sizes and heights to prevent a look that's too matching and boring. And to keep things cohesive, choose containers in similar material, color palette or shapes, as you see in these pictures. Now, indoor container gardening serves a whole lot of purposes, from providing food to cleaning indoor air and being living sculptures that make a bold statement. Now, getting it right means choosing the right plant and the right container. Now, in this picture, if you see, there are 4 containers, the same containers, but the first 2, the plants look correct on those 2 containers. And at the back, especially the rose, is a misfit. It is not for this type of a container. So it's looking a misfit there. So that's what I'm talking about. Choosing the right plant for the right container. So let the plant and pot combo do the talking. Here, the plants and the pot are in sync with each other. So that's where we said, let the plant and the pot do the talking. Harmony is the key. Your room, your wall, your plants, your planters should harmonize with each other. They should flow with each other. It should not be कि एक चीज अलग से you feel बहुत अजीब लग रही है. So there should be a flow within each element that you're using. Both work together towards the overall effect and neither upstages the other. The key is to always choose a container whose form will complement the shape of the plant. Choosing minimalistic styling for pots and letting the plants themselves enjoy the limelight is a definite trend to watch. That does not mean container is not important part of the package, but you are looking for clean, crisp lines and neutral shades. The plant is the focal point and the container is the frame in which it is displayed. Now, some people love very decorative pots. Some people like very minimalistic, especially with the contemporary offices that we have today with black and white backgrounds, grays. These are the colors, that palette that has come in. So you're looking for very minimalistic kind of pots, especially if using flowering plants. You don't want to take the pot to take the, the traction or become the focal point. You want the flowers to be the focal point. So naturally, you're looking for a very minimalistic look here. Now, vertical gardens let you pack a lot of material in a space. Using flat, growing, perennial ground covers with a cascading growth habit is the basis of vertical gardening. Now, this is another concept which allows you a lot of designing. You can do it just greens. You can just do it with color palette of greens. You can do intermingled with colored leaves. You can even add some flowers in it. It depends on your creativity and the space that you're looking at where you want to place it. So, इसमें बहुत scope है creative होने का. Another interesting container option is air plants. In glass balls hanging around or grouped together, mixed with some candles, add a little drama to your space. So this also is a very important element of plantscaping. And of course, non-container ke saath, the similar kind of concept, you have pocodermas. You can bring them inside, and you can place them in your space. You can hang them, you can put it on a table, you can put it on your desk, anywhere, you know. So that also gives you a lot of scope of creativity. With so much hue and cry on air quality, both inside and outside, getting air purifier plants in your space is one way to improve air quality in the room. According to research, indoor plants have potential to remove up to 70% of the volatile organic compound in indoor air. NASA scientists have shown that certain plants are able to absorb gases such as benzene or formaldehyde through the pores of their leaves. Now, this process of cleaning of air using plants is known as phytorehumidification. Now, again, plants को कैसे present करना है is your creativity. Here you see different concepts, you know. It's like, I need to get my health back. I need to have a pure air in my surroundings. I need to bring plants in. If this is the focus that you have, then you'll find spaces anywhere and everywhere in your area to bring in plants. Otherwise, you'll always remain in a mental block which says, I don't have space. Then remember, you don't have health also, because plantscaping helps you bring in health. Now look at these. They've created walls or partitions with these vertical walls in the offices. These are combo plantings again that you have. So if you're really looking for health through plantscaping, here's what it is. It removes, we said VOC 70%, reduces fatigue 20%, clears headache by 45%, reduces dry throat by 30%, cough by 40%, and saves dry facial skin by 25%, and regulates humidity by 90%. And it transforms your workspace from personal space into a work of art. Plants in home offices are a joy, but from a design perspective, choosing the right container is the key to the success. Simply put, if your plants don't complement the container rather than the plant will be the make or break consideration. Even the look of the most stunning plants can be spoiled by bad container choices. So plantscaping is here to stay, and doing it right is your choice and creativity. That's all that I needed to share, Sachin sir. Thank you so much for giving me time and letting me share my views.
Thank you very much, madam, for sharing your views and giving very informative session to all of us. Thank you very much. You have very nicely incorporated the scope of work. You have nicely defined the air purifying plants and all the stuff. So thank you very much. And I would like to take one question. There is one participant, Mr. Amit. His question is on the self-watering planters, especially in terms of its operability of growing. So can you answer, madam, this question?
Yeah, self-watering, I mean, that's ideal for offices, or if you're a traveler, you know, and you do not have so much of time. So self-watering planters are very, very good. And you don't really have to work hard on them, because sometimes, why does a plant die? Plant dies more of overwatering than underwatering. So self-watering planter is a perfect answer of all these problems. And even nutrition can be given through self-watering planters, you know, rather than aap upar se de rahe hain. So it's a perfect answer, yes.
Thank you very much, madam. And there is again one question from him also.
Yeah.
How can we make the sustainable plants like vegetable, herbs, etc. looks beautiful and suited to interior design and space beautification? I think is the interior design. I think so. So can you focus on this question?
I have some pictures. I actually have designed spaces with vegetables, of course, but when they are growing up, then you cannot bring them in. Once they are grown up, yes, you can decorate them inside, because all vegetables need sunlight to grow. So this is my feeling. I do not know, but और किसी के पास कोई और व्यू हो तो दूसरी बात है, पर मेरा मानना ये है कि आप वेजिटेबल्स के साथ बहुत खूबसूरती से अंदर आप डेकोरेशन कर सकते हैं. And I have done it. I have done concepts of those kind. But once they are fully grown, you know, they're kind of 3/4 grown. जैसे हम chrysanthemum के कहते हैं, once it has flowered, you can bring it down, but you before that you keep it out for sun, you know. So similarly, I can bring all my vegetables in, and I can actually do it. And they have different heights also. आप सामने salad leaves लगाइए, lettuce लगाइए, 2-3 colors में आते हैं, rocket leaves आते हैं. आप उनकी skirting कर दीजिए, and center में आप अपना गोभी है या जो ब्रोकली है, आप उनके साथ डेकोरेट कीजिए. Intermingle it with edible flowers. That's very important, you know. So you intermingle it with nasturtium, you can intermingle it with marigold, you can intermingle it with chrysanthemum. उसके साथ उसकी look बहुत enhance हो जाएगी. I wish I had shown you some pictures, you know. I did not think of that part.
No issue, madam. Thank you very much for your guidance. Now we have
Welcome,
Mr. Vikas Goyal, MD MOTI Garden. On behalf of Indian Nursery, I welcome you, sir. Sir, he's in agriculture chemical business. He's in the machinery of agriculture for gardens, tools and equipments. He has a vast experience. Experience आज हमको सबको मिलने वाला है. He's also our sponsor. So MOTI Garden, thanks to our sponsor MOTI Garden also. So I welcome him on behalf of Indian Nurserymen Association, and I request him to give his presentation. Over to you, sir. Goyal, sir.
Thank you, Sachinji and team. It is my pleasure to be here with Indian Nurserymen. Thank you, Harpreet ji, for a nice presentation. I would like to first introduce our company. We basically have been in agriculture business since 40 years in my family. And my screen is there. Screen share has started.
No, sir.
No, wait. Yep.
Yes, sir. Fine, sir. Always screen up.
We were into manufacturing agrochemicals mainly from Japan and places. Main was fungicides, which was used in rose quite a lot, because in rose plantation you have a lot of fungus problems. So it is a very good chemical for rose. Then what I would like to talk about here is that we all have plants at home and we all have lawns at home, but there are a few points which we always ignore. We buy sprayers. A lot of varieties of sprayers are available in the market, but the key factor in any sprayer is the nozzle. It's a very minute part of any sprayer, but it is the most effective part of making the whole spray mechanism be useful. So as you know that we buy these sprayers, but there is no precise information on what kind of discharge they are going to give you. So we introduced these nozzles a few years back, in 23 years back exactly, and we tied up with a lot of agrochemical companies to start selling these sprayers with their chemicals, with these nozzles with their chemicals, and a lot of sprayer manufacturers to use these nozzles in their sprayer. These nozzles are made in Italy, a very highly precision made nozzles, having the right microns required for these spray patterns you need. Each kind of crop requires a different kind of nozzle, which I think today the standard practice is everybody uses one single type of nozzle in any of their spraying system. Whereas we have around 30 types of nozzles, and they go into 400 to 500 varieties of each type of nozzle spray patterns. So you can imagine what is the vastness of this field, and choosing the right nozzle for spraying your chemical is very important, because you're spending more money on these chemicals. This is going to waste. The plant is not able to absorb most of this, and so the whole process is wasted if the nozzle is not right. Next, I would like to speak about our other product range. We also do gardening equipments, which we do under the brand name of Osatu. Different kind of sprayers for your home and garden need, very attractive, very popular with a lot of nurserymen. And we have a whole network of dealers selling these products. The advantage of selling is these are having virgin material, so high quality product, no residue, no side effects from using these for your different chemicals or spraying process. We have sprayers in 1.5 liter, which was a very big hit during this pandemic time. And we have these 5 liter for your home kitchen garden needs. You can pump in. This is a compression sprayer. The advantage of a compression sprayer is we can pump in once, and we don't need to keep pressing the trigger again and again. So the pressure stays there till the whole tank of 5 liter is exhausted. Then you have battery operated sprayers. You have combination of combination variety where you can do spraying and watering your gardening pots, everything. Then we have exciting range of watering cans, tools, garden sets, plows, hose. Markers is a very important part. You can mark how many times you have to water your plant. We buy plants from all these nurseries, but we don't know how to properly mark or properly highlight our product. What product it is, when you have to water, we have these small sides mein you will see drops where you can say 3 times a week, 2 times a week. You can break the drop as per your requirement. Then we have colorful garden buddies, which can decorate your garden. Then another very exciting product is these garden borders. Normally, when around the trees and all, when we do landscaping or whatever, we don't divide. We are not able to have a proper division between the section. So we have these plastic borders which you can put, and they can give you a precise differentiation between your different garden decorations. This is our that range. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about machinery. Everybody has a small lawn or maybe a big lawn, if depending on your house size. So you always need a lawnmower to do your mowing of your lawns. These are handy lawnmowers. You can use it in your garden buy it for your home. In mowing, there is another very important thing, that is mulching. A lot of people, I think, don't know what mulching is. Mulching is cutting the grass further to finer pieces so that the grass below can have more room to breathe. Avoid removal of consumption of light and nutrients by the moss. So, sorry, I've got into scarifying, but it protects the underneath by consuming soil moisture, soil temperature even. Mulching plugs are there in most of our mowers, so they recut the grass and again small bit and put it down in the soil. We have different kind of lawnmower, petrol lawnmowers. Then you can go for ride-on types, depending on your size. You have different attachments for your fertilizers, rollers, sweepers, combi carts. Then you have electric mowers to cut the areas around trees, around branches, around. You have statues. You have sitting areas where grass lawnmowers cannot reach. These are very good equipments. Brush cutter, I think most of you know what it is, how to use it. We have electric operated trimmers. These help you design the trees. You can do the shapes, cutting different types. This can also work as a lawnmower for your cutting the grass. We have hedge cutter. This is another tool to cut the hedges. Depending on the size of hedges, you can go for different size of hedge cutters. Then this is Scarifier. Scarifier is basically the process of removal of moss, debris, and undergrowth from your lawns, which help in getting proper oxygen and breath down to your grasses and avoids removal nutrients which take away with moss and all these take away the essential nutrients from your grass. So if you have a good scarifier, you can scarify the lawn. Good time to scarify is in Vasant or Kartik months, which is like March, April, and September months. Mostly people are recommending to do it throughout the year, which I don't think is necessary. Scarifying is required when only during these two times. Then we have chipper shredders. Your garden waste, usually people are burning or whatever and throwing in some pits they create. But with chipper shredder, you can chip them, shred them to the right pieces, and then put them in the pit. So they'll become mulch much faster. These are electric operative, very handy to use and very effective for your creation of mulch. Then you have small tillers, but using in small garden sizes. We have hand saws of very high quality saws from Japan. Chainsaws which cut chain. Then you have tree pruners. You can do cutting of bigger trees with pruners attached to the back part. This is another interesting product. You can do leaf blowing. You blow your leaf, then they are collected in one corner, and then you can change the attachment. And you can also suck it, mulch it, and you can see the over here. If you see, this is how much is left of this whole area of the leaves that was collected. So it mulches it and it brings it into a fine, small quantity. You can do for big areas, you need a backpack based blowers. Then you have for tractor based in a bigger areas. You have fine sprayers, high pressure sprayers, which take away the dirt, the residues, the algae stuck on the floors. These are removal at very high speed. Very handy for garden operations, for your home operations. They can also be used for cleaning your cars or whatever. Again, the same thing in high pressure. We also have nozzles for agriculture, spraying, big sprayers. Then we also have fogging machines. Fogging is important because of mosquitoes and all that. You can do small foggers, big foggers, depending on the area. Another interesting product is green launger. This product is interesting is because you can color the grass green for events. So if you have an event for you have a party at home or at a hotel, or you're handing over a project for landscapers, you're handing over a project and you can't have the grass green always. There are patches of brown, yellow in the grass. You can use this product instantly. It's a pigment. It's drawn from the grass, so it's not a chemical. It will not harm your grass. And it instantly makes it a green, gives it a green shade. So organizations like golf courses, hotels, marriage homes, a lot of farmhouses use this product for their events and parties. Then we also have products for your water bodies. So you have lakes, water bodies where the water is off colored, discolored. You want to use something, there are products like lake colorants. You can put in, these are friendly to your fishes, and they change the look of the lake to good aesthetic blue or whatever you want. Plus these help in stopping the penetration of sun to the bottom layer. So algae formation is also reduced. This is it. I think this is what we have covered. Thank you for giving us an opportunity. We have other range of product. I hope you will like this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Goyal sir. Thank you very much for sharing valuable information about your products, which are very useful for home gardening. and I am very confident that these products will be get a good market. So thank you very much once again. Now we are with Dr. Kariyana sir, Managing Director, Hitkari Nursery, Bangalore. Dr. Kariyana is the Managing Director of Hitkari Nursery. He is a doctorate in horticulture from University of Agricultural Sciences, Bangalore. He has worked as a researcher in Agriculture University, Bangalore for a few years. He was merit scholar throughout his academic studies in horticulture. He has co-authored many books, technical training manuals, published research papers, and other scientific articles, besides giving radio talks and television programs on horticulture and plasticulture. He has been working in organizing committee for conducting national level seminars, conferences. Dr. Kariyana has been given different assignments and recognitions by state and central government. So I welcome Dr. Kariyana Saab on behalf of Indian Nursery Association, and I request him to give his presentation. So over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. And I welcome all the viewers for this webinar on landscape and home gardening. Now, speakers, Mrs. Ahluwalia Madam and Goyal Saab for their presentation. And Ahluwalia Madam gave us an account of indoor, planting plants and also beautification. And Goyal Saab gave us an account of how we can utilize the different types of the instruments and sprayers and all that for our home garden and also for general horticulture. So I'll focus on the outdoor gardening mainly, and I'll consider the different types of gardening. Why this home gardening, especially during this pandemic. So it has taken a lot of importance, and of course the different types of home gardening, and then I'll come to the different aspects of home gardening, like terrace gardening, media preparation, watering, then pruning and training, and so many aspects. And of course I'll come to the protected cultivation and all that. So let me start with landscaping. So plantscape, here there are three words: plant, scape, and gardening. So plantscape means using plants for application in our gardens or landscaping or wherever it is, to beautify the area and to make it more functional and utilizable. So that is use of plants for scaping, for improving, for purposes. And of course, home gardening, we use the plants in home gardening. So that is what the layman's meaning of the plantscaping and home gardening. And then what is home gardening? So it is the garden created in the house premises, in the vacant space available in front or in the sides or in the backyard or in the terrace, balcony, corridors, and inside the house. So that is home gardening. And coming to the different types of home gardens, so we can list lot of number of gardens, like landscape ornamental garden, kitchen garden, indoor landscape garden, indoor ornamental garden, vertical garden, hydroponic garden, microgreens, terrace garden, then container garden, and so many other plants also come under home gardening. So coming to the different types of garden, I'll give the pictures of different types of gardening. So this is a landscape ornamental garden. So wherein the front side of the building or the house is treated with ornamental garden with the scaping with lawn and ornamental plants like ground cover, shrubs, hedges, and all that. This is a landscape ornamental garden. So that is more of aesthetic in nature, whereas this is kitchen garden. The purpose here is to grow the products that we need daily: vegetables, flowers, fruits. Where we get organic material and healthy products without any poisons or anything like that. So that we can do in front or backyard or in the terrace with the containers. That is a kitchen garden. And then we have interior landscape garden. That is, if you have the space inside the house, you can treat it with a landscape. That is interior landscape garden. And then indoor plants which are ornamental, which are flowering, foliage, and also which are the air purifying plants like palms. And you can see here the mother-in-law's tongue, Diphynbicias, money plants, and all that. So next come as Madam showed it in her presentation, these are the green walls or vertical gardens, ornamental vertical garden, foliage gardens, flower vertical gardens. And then, we also have vertical gardens with medicinal plants, vegetables. So all this is possible. These are the recent trends in, home gardening. And then, of course, microgreens. This is, very nutritional and medicinal value it's having. Sprouting the, some pulses and other seeds like wheat seeds and all that, so that they are more nutritive and the sprouts are little grown. So that is called microgreens. And then hydroponics. So hydroponics has opened an arena of the opportunities for especially youngsters, so who really want to take up this home gardening as a venture, as an enterprise. Many of them call us and ask us for the information for training, because we also conduct training in our nursery. They want to know more about it, how to go in for commercial hydroponics, whether it is having commercial value, whether they can make it an enterprise like that. There are many inquiries. Here we can produce in the hydroponics. We use non-soil media, that is mainly water or coco peat or the rock wool and things like that, and we produce flowers, vegetables, herbs like that. That is about hydroponic garden. And of course, this is miniature gardens. You can show your creativity using small containers and some crates or even old TV frame, and you can create a miniature garden. Is correct? So miniature garden, so that you can create a small garden, a world of garden in the container. So using small plants and some statues and things like that. Yeah. So then we have mosquito repellent plants we can use in the home garden, like lemongrass, lavender, rosemary, and all that. So then so then comes
Sir, you are not audible, sir. Sir, you are not audible. Doctor Sahab.
one second.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a screen. Yeah. Now, sir.
Yeah, you're audible, sir.
Now?
Yeah,
Please,
yeah,
sir.
yeah. You can go ahead, sir, please. Sir, please share your screen. I think, sir, please share your screen. शायद थोड़ा सा डिस्कनेक्ट हो गए सर. जब तक वो ज्वाइन होते तब तक वी हैव पोस्टेड लिंक ऑफ फीडबैक फॉर्म इन द चैट. So I request all the participants to fill the feedback form. That will be, I will be great for all of you to know your feedback. So I request all the participants to give us feedback for webinar series. So we have shared the link in the chats. Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, sir. There is some problem with the screen.
No issues, no issue. Please share your screen,
I'll
sir.
come back in 2 seconds. Open ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಕೊಡೋಣ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಕೊಡು
चैट में आपको फीडबैक फॉर्म की लिंक भेजी है, तो सभी पार्टिसिपेंट से मैं रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ कि आपकी उसमें जानकारी भर के हमें फीडबैक दीजिए जो आगे वेबिनार्स के लिए हम सबको यूजफुल हो, ज्यादा से ज्यादा बेनिफिट्स आप लोगों को मिल सके. सो आई रिक्वेस्ट वंस अगेन टू सेंड द फीडबैक फॉर्म्स. यस सर, कनेक्टेड सर.
The different types of home gardening. So then the kitchen garden or the terrace, then kitchen garden on sites and backyard. You operate now.
Sir, please go ahead, sir. You are audible.
Yeah.
It is
So
visible.
this is the terrace garden. Once again, this is the balcony garden where we have beautiful flowers of orchids, anthuriums, and all that. So we can create garden in the balcony where we have vegetables, fruits, and all that. And this is Dr. Hitkari sir. He is called the walking encyclopedia of horticulture. So he is a retired horticulture officer, and this is again the backyard garden, and this is guava plant in the backyard. This is the corridor flowers and foliage plants in the corridors.
Sir,
And,
sir,
this is a view of different kitchen gardens and home gardens. Here is hello, can you hear me?
Sir, slide.
Yeah.
Slide
So
over,
this
sir.
is Dr. Yeah, can you see the slide, sir?
Yeah. Now your slides on some more views of kitchen garden made in Bangalore on that screen here.
Yeah. So this is So this is the father of kitchen garden organic vegetable gardens in Karnataka, Dr. Vishwanath. He was our professor, and this is an advanced terrace garden. Using different types of pots and irrigation. We can also provide shade net and greenhouses over the terrace. And then home gardening, I mean the exterior and the fruits and all that, and the terrace gardening and all that, because nowadays during this corona pandemic, the people are very much want of the quality organic produce like fruits and vegetables. So there is a lot of increase in the the requirement of the plants and the garden inputs. Plants and garden inputs by the nurseries in Bangalore. And as I said, many of the youngsters, so they want to make startups in horticulture, especially in hydroponics and the nurseries and garden shops and all that. So there is a lot of demand for urban horticulture and for the home gardening. And so we'll come to the prerequisite knowledge about the home garden. So here, to make a home garden and to maintain it, what are the different aspects we have to consider? That is the layout of the garden and planting geometry, intercropping, mixed cropping, and then different types of containers that can be used for home gardening. Then planting media, then sunlight, different types of the plants which need more sunlight, less sunlight, shade loving plants. Then watering, then nutrition, plant protection, then training and pruning, especially in case of fruits, in the terrace garden. Then protected cultivation using greenhouses, net houses, and all that, wherein we can protect the plants from the vagaries of nature and also get the quality products. So coming to the planting media, we have different types of media. So the quality of the media, it should be light and porous. It should not have toxic materials, and it should not have pathogens and nematodes. And here we have given different types of media using different components. Like for example, this red soil, 40% compost, 30% and sand 30%. This is the basic pot media or the pit media that generally we use for many of the fruits and vegetables. And here we have another type of media where we use coco peat and perlite. So this is used generally for raising the seedlings in the pro-trace and for high value crops like petunia and all that. So under light media we use. And another media generally used for orchids and anthuriums is coco peat, cocoa bits, that is small pieces of coconut, husk, and manure. So that is for orchids and anthuriums we use. And yeah, so there are different types of treating the media. So we treat the media with neem oil, that is for controlling the insects, and trichoderma for, again, this is the bio control of insects in this one. And lime treatment, so that is for adjusting the pH and soil condition. And of course, solarization of the media. So by covering the media with the black polythene, which absorbs heat and which sterilizes the media. This is done generally during summer to kill the microorganisms. And of course, coming to the watering and water. So we have to use good water. Good water is one which looks good, which smells good, and also tastes good. And of course, we can use micro irrigations like drip irrigation and sprinkler irrigation. And water should be clean, neutral in pH, and free from toxic ingredients. And of course, we can treat bad water. If alkaline water is there, we can use gypsum, and acidic water we can use the agriculture lime. So this is how we can manage the bad water also. So then comes the nutrition. So of course, there are 16 elements which are required for the plant growth. We can provide them with the plant source, chemical fertilizers, as well as the elements. So next is the containers. So containers, there are different types of containers depending on the material we use, like earthen pots, plastic pots, cement tubs, then grow bags, metallic boxes with drain cells. That is, using the metal frames, we can make the boxes with the drain cells so that we get better, the aeration and all that. and of course thermocol and all that. These are some of the pictures of thermocol trays, plastic tubs, and then the thermocol containers, the terracotta, the containers. These are the grow bags for growing vegetables and fruit plants. And this is what I told you. This is the containers made out of the metal frames with the drain cells, which can be used in the terrace wherever, with the bigger size, medium size, and the small size. You can see here to grow different types of plants. Of course, these are the tools for home gardening. Mr. Goyal sir has shown it very well. And these are sprayers. And of course, the different plants suited for the home garden, vegetables, different vegetables, lettuce, spinach, then salad plants like palak, methi, turnip, radish, subsidiary, and all that. Then solanaceous plants like brinjal, tomato, capsicum, pepino, and then cole crops, roots and tubers like radish, turnip, and all that. And then cucurbitaceous plants like cucumber, coccinia, sponge gourd, and all that. Then is the beans. So there are different types of beans like French bean, pole bean, cluster bean, and all that. And these are some of the pictures of the leafy vegetables. So, and other vegetables like lady's finger, drumstick, ginger, turmeric, and of course we can also grow herbal plants like medicinal aromatic plants like aloe vera, brahmi, himri, tulsi, and this the thyme and all other things. So these are some of the fruit plants like calamantin, kumquat, and all that. So I'll come to the terrace fruit gardening, because this aspect is picking up recently, and the growing of vegetables and flowers on the terraces is people for it, but for cultivating fruits on the terrace, it takes little more knowledge and experience, because the fruit plants are generally big in size. We need to consider the container size and the maintenance, like tiling
Sorry to
and all
interrupt you,
that.
sir. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, sir.
There is echo, sir. Some in voice, so we are not properly audible.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I'll go slowly then.
Please.
Yeah, so, okay, sir.
There
Sir,
is
this
echo.
is,
Mute device nearby you, sir.
yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Can you hear me now?
There is little echo there.
Uh, can you hear me now, sir?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I was talking about the terrace gardening. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, please
Hello?
go ahead, sir.
There is a background
sir.
Please go ahead,
voice,
sir.
background voice
Yeah,
of
sir,
your
this is, yeah, I am
Sir, there
presenting,
is a background
this.
voice.
Hello?
There are two speakers also, I think, sir. There is a
Hello, can
background
you hear
voice.
me,
Sir.
sir?
Yeah, we can hear you, but there is a background voice.
Yeah, you can. Okay. Then close ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ. Okay. Now this is regarding the layout plan of terrace garden. We have designed a
Excuse me, sir.
terrace garden with
Excuse me,
fruit
sir.
plants.
Hello.
Hello.
Excuse me,
Can
sir.
you hear me?
Please mute the device nearby you, sir.
Yeah. That's what we have done now. Mute ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ. Close ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ. Close ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡಿ system. So now, madam, am I audible?
You are
Hello?
audible, sir. You are audible, sir. Please go
Okay.
ahead.
Yeah. So this is the layout plan we have made, and we have demonstrated with respect to the terrace fruit garden. And this is a terrace of size 30 feet by 40 feet size house, now wherein we get the effective area of 20 feet by 30 feet, leaving 5 feet, from the parapet wall on all the sides. So we get about totally about 35 plants, by giving the spacing of 5 feet from plant to plant. And in this, we can accommodate, bigger plants, about 12 numbers, and 23 small and medium plants. This is the layout plan, that we have done it, and we are giving it to the people. And we have also displayed it in a Krishi Mela exhibition in Agriculture University, Bangalore, that I'll show the picture. So these are different types of plants, small plants like papaya, strawberry, guava, pomegranate, falsa, and all that. And then medium-sized plants like sitafal, water apple, butterfruit, oranges. These are the medium-sized plants, and bigger-sized plants, as you know, like mango, sapota, jamun, the butterfruit, and rambutan, apple, and all that come under bigger sized plants. Of course, you can also grow the dwarf coconut for tender coconut on the terrace with the bigger containers. So I'll show the dimensions of different containers to be used in the terrace fruit garden. The smaller containers, the sizes, dimensions will be 13 inch by 13 inch, 12 inch by 15 inch, and 12 inch by 18 inch. These are the different sizes that we need, and we can use to grow these small stature plants. And the medium size, containers are the size of 15 inch by 18 inch and 18 inch by 24 inch. We can grow the medium stature plants, and big, containers, the sizes will be 24 inch by 36 inch and 24 inch by 40 inch. Of course, the bigger size plants like jackfruit, mango, and all that can be grown. And this is what we have displayed in the exhibition. This is the different types of fruit plants, as I showed in the layout plan. So about 30 plants in 30 by 40 area, where we have all different types of fruit plants with different size grow bags and the framed structures, including the dwarf coconut you can see here. So this is the layout plan. Anybody can follow this, and they can have all types of fruits on their terrace. They need not have to go for land for that. Of course, the number of fruits you get will be a little lesser. So you can easily grow most of the fruits on your terrace also. So this is the inauguration of the layout plan by the VIPs in the Krishi Mela. And of course, these are the different types of fruits that we can grow on the terrace, like papaya, banana, guava, mosambi, lemon, mulberry, that is edible mulberry, sitafal, mango, pomegranate, and of course, this is guava with the grow bag and sapota, and water apple in a framed structure. So next is the organic, use of organic materials in the home gardening. So that is using non-chemical manures, and to avoid the food produced from toxins, and preserving the nature and environment. That is the idea of going for organic cultivation. And these are the types of different types of natural manures that we can use, like cow dung compost, leaf mold, vermicompost, animal urine, biofertilizers, ash, rock phosphate, lime, etc. And then natural pesticides, there are different types we can use other than chemical pesticides, like bioagents, botanicals, plant extracts, Jivamruta, then Panchagavya, and all that. Of course, the physical method is lure traps, stick cards, and all that. So then is the protected cultivation, that is use of the greenhouses. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir.
Hello? Hello?
We can hear you, sir.
Hello?
Please go ahead.
Yeah, so the
We can hear you, sir.
So the structures, the structures that we can use for the home gardening is the in the front or backyard or on the terrace we can use greenhouses, net houses. These are the different nets. Yeah, these are the reflecting nets and greenhouses, which can be used for protecting the crop and also to avoid the pests and insects. These are the some of the pictures of protected structures. So these are bird-proof and the hail-proof nets. So in conclusion, I would say that home gardening and urban horticulture is the need of the day, and we can produce the quality material and organic vegetables and fruits by following the home gardening and utilizing the open spaces in the city. That is, we can use these spaces like residential sites, which are not constructed by the building. We can use it, and we can also use public areas for going for urban horticulture, which can also give the sustenance to the people who really want to make a living. So they can earn about 20 to 25,000 rupees per month. That is what is the experience and estimated. We have done that. So that is also possible. We can use it for sustenance also for some of the people. So I thank you very much, sir, for giving this opportunity to share my experiences, and I thank Chatterjee Saab and the Nursery Association for giving me this opportunity. And also I thank my friends, Dr. Bera Reddy, Sharath, Hittamani sir, and Tripathi sir for helping me in preparing the PPTs for this webinar. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. So you have very nicely shared the ideas for landscaping, which we can do in a very small areas for home gardening. Even you have shared a very valuable information for growing it. So thank you very much once again. Now this session is open for question and answer session. There are few questions. Are there now? There were question on succulents. Which succulents are suitable for indoors? So I think you need a specific variety for succulents. So I take this question to Ahluwalia madam. Madam, can you? Ahluwalia madam, are you able to hear me? Ahluwalia madam. I think she's not able to hear me. Ahluwalia madam. Almost all the indoors you can indoors.
Did you answer, sir?
Yeah, please. Yes, Dr. Saab, please.
Yeah, no, the succulent plants like generally they are used for indoors as well as for balcony gardens and in the corridors. So succulents like the crazulas and the jade plants and all that. So generally used, and they are also used for miniature gardens, very small succulent plants.
I request all the participants to keep their microphone in mute. I request all the participants to keep their microphone on mute. It's my humble request to Dr. Saab, can you exit from your presentation? Okay.
Yeah, I'll be happy to answer if there are any questions from the audience.
Just you exit from your presentation. Whatever the shared you.
Yeah, I'll exit. Yeah.
Please, please, please.
Yeah. Yes.
Again, I request all the participants to keep their microphone on mute. It's my humble request to all the participants. So there is one question on artificial lighting. So so is artificial
Hello.
lighting? Sir, can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear
Is
you, sir.
artificial helpful for vegetables in interior scaping? Artificial lighting for interior scaping for vegetables.
Especially for vegetables. Generally, this artificial lighting is used for indoor ornamental plants with the containers. Generally, depending on the different plants, the different intensity of lights are used, like LED lights and tube lights and all that. With different intensity, they are used for. Generally, of course, nowadays. As for vegetable also we can use, especially in hydroponics. Also we can use it, and generally what they do is, if they want to grow the vegetables in interior, so they use lights, and also they keep the plants, the containers with the vegetable plants outside for some time, and then bring them inside. So LED bulbs are generally used. Of course, the different intensity of lights they use for different plants. For vegetables also, it should be possible. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. There is one question on containers. So what is the ideal depth for the containers? Small, medium, and big. It's a. So this question is also for you.
So so I have shown in my slide, especially for fruits, we have to go in for little bigger containers. So for vegetables, the depth could be even 6 inches or 12 inches, whereas for fruits, the depth should be minimum of 1 foot. For crops like strawberry, you can have 9 inches or 12 inches, whereas for even for papaya, for smaller plants like guava and this peanut butter fruit and all that, minimum of 1.5 foot, that is about 18 inches or 15 inches is required. Of course, the width should be minimum of about 18 inch, 15 inch, like that. Of course, you can get the fruits even in smaller containers also. But if you really want to get some yield, you have to go for the depth of about 15 to 18 inch, and the width also same. For bigger plants, we have to go for bigger containers, like 2 feet, that is 24 inch width, and depth should be about 36 to 40 inches. Yeah, these are the dimensions that we can use.
Goyal sir, there is one question for you. Where we can get the tools mentioned by MOTI Gardens?
Yes, I've just replied to you that there's an email ID I've put and a phone number.
Yes.
So they can contact us and we can give the dealers, or you can go to our website and there are dealers all over India who's dealing in these products. Plus, we are also open for new people coming in anywhere around.
Thank you very much, sir. So it was a very nice presentation from all the speakers today on landscaping and home gardening, especially Ahluwalia madam focused on benefits of interior scaping, even avenues of landscaping, scope of work in landscaping or home gardening. She has also tried to focus on the air purifying plants, very nicely presented by Ahluwalia madam. Goyal sir explained regarding the tools which we can use for home gardening. Dr. Kariyana sahab very nicely shared the ideas for landscaping which we can do in a small areas. In that he has focused on kitchen garden, ornamental garden, vertical garden, microgreens. So all the speakers shared a very valuable information. Even he can add the media, nutrient management. Ideally, he has discussed with all the participants. So it was a nice webinar. So I give a lot of thanks to our speakers. Today's our sponsor, MOTI Gardens. I'm thankful to all participants, and I'm also thankful to our Deepak Chatterjee Saab. He's coordinating with the all staff. Even our technical expert for webinar, Manjit Ji Vishal, I'm thankful to him also for taking the initiative and coordinating these things. And not but the least, our president, Mr. YP Singh साहब, उनके प्रेरणा से, उनकी इच्छा शक्ति से ये सब वेबिनार आप सब तक पहुंच रहे हैं. उसके साथ साथ हमारे आईएनए के सेक्रेटरी मुकुल त्यागी साहब, उनका भी इस वेबिनार में बहुत बड़ा सहयोग है. और होल टीम ऑफ आईएनए, इनके सहयोग से ये वेबिनार सीरीज चल रही है. So once again, I'm thankful to all of you, all the speakers, participants, and team of Indian Nurserymen Association. So thank you for this webinar. So thank you very much, and we are wrapping this session, and see you in the next webinar. Thank you very much.
ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ತಗೊಂಡೆ ನಾನು 32 ನಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಪ್ ಟು 40 ಮಿನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ